Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's call. We're just going to be focusing a little bit on commitment this evening and why it's so incredibly important to commit to your business. And we're going to touch through a few of those reasons why. Michelle and I are going to just give some anecdotes and some personal experiences over the years, really just to help you guys not make the same mistakes that we have done over the past few years, and just speed up the process for you so you don't have to do some of the stuff that we've done, and you can get to where you want to be much quicker. And one of the biggest things for me is the commitment to your business and all the things surrounding your business. For years when I didn't do any of the training, couldn't be bothered to do any real activity, certainly didn't do any daily affirmations or any goal cards or any lists, nothing. I did nothing like that. And actually it was quite, if I think about it now, I was a bit like, well, I don't need to do that. I was almost a bit put out that there was an expectation of me to do all of these things. So we just want to sort of talk that through now and get you to understand the reasons that we're really doing it. Because these small changes to your daily life are the things that's going to impact your business the most. And the commitment to your business is 100%. You need to be there 100% with your business. Otherwise, it's just not going to be where you want it to be. It will be like mine, where it just coasts along for ages and ages, and if you stay in, brilliant, but it's not really going to be going where you want it to be unless you commit. If you're like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, then really you're 1 foot out. If you're dabbling in the business, if you're just doing it like a hobby, you are just going to get paid like a hobby in this business. I mean, in fact, it will probably end up costing you money. This business can cost you money if you don't make it work as a business. And to make it work as a business, you need to commit to it and commit those daily activities. So, we talk about it in terms of everybody's busy, everybody's either working or got children or, their life is just busy. They might do volunteer work or whatever it is. Everyone's busy, but it's finding those times through the day where you commit, right, that is my time for Arbonne and I'm going to do that. Or everything that I need to do in that space. And you don't have to do all of it, of course, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well. But do make sure you're doing stuff on a daily basis. That's what's going to impact your business, and it's income producing things that you're doing on a daily basis. So commit to your business and to your why. If you haven't written your why yet, then that is what you need to do when you get off this call. You really need to be able to get down to grips with what your why is, the reason that you're doing this business. What Arbonne is going to do as a vehicle. It's going to be the vehicle to get you from where you want to be now to where you want to be in the future. And Arbonne is the thing that's going to do that. So you need to commit to that why and be prepared to show up for that why and be prepared to do the shit that you don't want to do for that why. Because there is times, even for me, and I'm sure for Michelle, where we still don't want to do it. We'll have shit days and we don't want to do it. We don't want to do the daily do, but we do it because we're committed to what we are working towards in the future. So that's why it's so important that you can re-engage with that why, that at the times when you're feeling a bit flat, or you're feeling disengaged, or things aren't going the way that you want it to, or you've had a run of 5 or 6 no's, which completely happens in this business, you're gonna feel flat. You're gonna feel, oh, fuck it, I'm just not gonna do it anymore. You're just gonna feel like that. And what you've got to do, if you feel like quitting, is quit for the day, go, absolutely, I'm gonna pick up Arbonne tomorrow, take some time out, and then reconnect with your why and the reason that you're doing it. I love this quote. Life will only change you when you become more committed to your dreams than you are to your comfort zone. This is not comfortable. It will stretch you in every way, whether it's just reaching out to new people, whether it's doing presentations, whether it's doing trainings, like our gorgeous Hannah is going to be doing her first training, which I'm so proud of. I bet Mum's like mega proud over there in Italy. Could you hear me?
Don't know.
Did you hear me?
No, I'm here. Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, of course I am. Of course
Oh
I
my
am.
goodness. Yeah. So these things are sent to test us, but they are 100% building us up and getting us out of our comfort zone. And that's where we need to be, because that's where we build resilience, and that's where we turn into the leaders that we need to become to be successful in this business. So anything you want to add on about your why and commitment?
From my point of view, it's always fascinating when we start talking about this, because I kind of get a bit of a shiver down my back, because one of the things that I find is, I think exactly what you just said, all that thing about, if you don't know your why, then you're not going to have the motivation to do it. But I'll be really honest, my big issue around commitment is actually, it's consistency. It's not, for me, it's not so much about, is this real? Am I really going to do it? It's actually, I can commit, and Rebecca, you will know this because I'm the past master at this. I get really motivated. I get really wound up about stuff, and I'm really, and this is what I'm going to do, and I'll talk about what I'm going to do, and I'll do it for a while, and then gradually it will just kind of die away. And I think commitment and consistency go together, and that's what I've really realized. And I think that's what's made the biggest difference to my business over the last 6 months or so, is that I have realized that without consistency, commitment doesn't really matter. Yeah. I can be committed to something, but if I'm not actually doing it, if it's all just in my head, it's no good. So that's been kind of a big learning for me, and that's something that I'm really focused on, and that's something I would really, really stress to everybody, is it's not just talking the talk, it's actually doing it. That's the hard bit. Yeah. And it's doing it when nobody is looking. They say, commitment is actually doing what you said you were going to do long after everybody's forgotten that you said you were going to do it. Yeah. And one thing I was thinking about before we came on this call was, people, when you start this business, people will look at you askance, and, we've talked about that before, and think, what's that all about? Oh, well, that's probably just another fad and it'll probably die away. People will be expecting you not to be committed to this. Yeah. That's the reality. And so it's that fact of just doing it every day, just that little bit every day, every week. And gradually people go, oh, this is real then. And it is. So it's not only for yourself that it's a commitment, it's showing other people that. And I think that's a really important aspect for us to think about as well. So that's my kind of things on it at the moment.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think exactly what we're just about to talk about, which is brilliant. Because if you haven't read, there's 2 books that are essential reading for this business. If you haven't read The Slight Edge or The Compound Effect, both of those books are absolutely key to understanding how this business works and how you become successful. And not just in this business, actually, in every aspect of your life. It's about making these small daily changes and daily changes to your habits, which create success down the pathway. It's not focusing on that big goal. It's, really embracing those small victories on the way, but being really consistent. That's why the miracle morning is such a good thing for people to do. Where you're dedicating that time where you're going to do your personal development, your meditation, your exercise, whatever it is that you're going to commit to in that period of time. It's getting your brain into this pattern of behavior. It's going to do lots of things for you. It's going to build up your resilience. It's going to protect you when you do personal development. It's going to protect you so that you are able to get over the negative experiences that you have in your life or in your business, or when you hit a rough patch. It's going to give you the ability to be able to tackle them and manage them much, much better than you had it before. But it will also just make you better in all aspects of your life. Most people who read these books say that it has an impact on their life in all areas, their relationships, their other jobs that they do, the way that they interact with their family, the way that they feel about exercise. It's these, tiny adjustments that you make to your daily life. And in the moment, they feel mundane and monotonous a lot of the time, but don't focus on that. You know, realize that actually what you're doing is working to a much, much bigger picture. And that it was completely right, Michelle. When I decided 18 months ago that I was going to that my focus would be district manager bonus every single month, I was going to get district manager bonus, and all these steps were in place with my daily activity to ensure that I did it, because I was not doing any more work than what I was doing previously with Arbonne in terms of hours of commitment to my business. I was doing just a smaller amount on a daily basis and making sure that I was in income producing activity. Because I don't know about you guys, but I have wasted days and days of my life thinking about doing Arbonne, or playing around with, you know, the social media side, or creating posters, or, you know, making my office look beautiful, all the things that are going to really help with my business. Or not help really with my business. I've spent hours and hours doing that. And that is not Arbonne. You know, that is not doing Arbonne. Making sure that you have a daily, for me, it's just reaching out to one person a day. If you can get that down as part of what you just do on a daily basis, I love it now. That is something that I get up and do and really enjoy to do. The word of advice I would say to you is get it done as quickly as possible, because there's nothing worse than then thinking about those two little things that you need to do, those two little reach outs that you're going to have to do throughout that day. Get them done straight away. Get Arbonne done so you can then concentrate on whatever it is you need to in other aspects of your life. Otherwise, you'll just procrastinate about it all day long. So yes, focus on your personal development. And what else was I going to say?
Rebecca, can I just add something in there?
Please do.
On the personal development thing, I feel, you know, really passionately about this. And I would say, when we're thinking about commitment, that it really is non-negotiable. If you are not committed to personal development, then you're not committed to Arbonne. It doesn't matter what else you're doing, because all you will do is just stay still. Even if you are actually making sales, even if you are finding people to sponsor, you can't move forward. It just is physically impossible, mentally impossible. One of the things that we know in Arbonne, and I really believe this is a truism, is that you cannot move to a higher level than your readiness level, kind of thing. I haven't explained that well, but do you know what I mean? Personal development is the key. And so if you're not doing it, then you're not committed to Arbonne. That's all I would say. I think it's totally and utterly essential, because what you've got to think about is it's about where your business is going to be in 3 years' time and 5 years' time and 10 years' time, not what you're doing today. I mean, obviously, what you're doing today counts towards that. But otherwise, all you're ever going to get to is what you're doing today. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to improve. It's not going to grow. And nobody wants to be stuck where they are today. So personal development is not an option. It's not something you can pick and choose at. If you're not doing it, then you're not doing Arbonne, as far as I'm concerned.
100%. Yeah, I completely agree. And Fiona will, you know, say this herself. She got to area manager on her own with no team, all on customer sales, and then was stuck there for a while. And that was because she wasn't doing any personal development. She was going to the events, you know, she was going to GCC and AAC, but she wasn't reading. She wasn't giving herself, you know, the personal development that she needed to do. And as soon as she did, she started to read, started to listen to audios, and within 3 months of doing that, she got to RVP. And she also 100%, you know, she wished that she'd have done it earlier. But it is so important to get to events, you know, the Leadership Academy, AAC, these calls that we have on a weekly basis. This is the stuff that's really going to help you. But the daily reading and audios are really going to get you to the next level where you need to be able to perform at the next level. And you're completely right. You're never going to promote a day before you're ready to do so. And the only way you're going to be ready to do so is if you step out of your comfort zone and you do just grow as a person. It sounds like, initially I used to think, oh God, that sounds so, you know, like American. And I just didn't get it at all, and now I completely get it. But you've got to get to these events, and if you're feeling a bit flat, there was a great analogy on the Jerry call the other night, which I loved. It was quite. Do you remember the light bulb analogy, the lamp analogy, where you know, if you're not plugging in, you're not going to stay bright and energized and full of life. It was very similar. It was about a mobile phone, you know, cell phone. If you're not charging your phone, it's going to die. It's going to become flat. You know, you need your personal development and these calls and the leadership and stuff to keep you buzzing, to keep you high, to keep you energized, and to keep you engaged, because it is tough. You know, when you're on your own and you're at home on your own, if you're not engaging and you're not doing any of this stuff, you're going to find it really, really easy just to let yourself off the hook and go, oh, it just isn't for me. It's not working. It's not for me. And that, unfortunately, is the reality in this business. You know, most people who join a network marketing company quit within 2 years of doing so if they aren't doing their personal development, if they're not engaging with the training and moving forward. And that's why we see such a massive turnover of people, because they just can't get over that first stumbling block. But if you can, and you see the bigger picture, and you're working towards it, and you're really concentrating on those small victories, and you're enjoying each stage as it comes, you will 100% get there. If you think, oh my God, when I join, I'm not an MVP in 2 minutes, you know, I'm sick of being stuck at a consultant, but not prepared to do anything about it, then the easier thing to do is to quit. And it is easy, because it hasn't really cost you anything. You know, you don't have any perceived loss, because it's cost you 30 quid to join a business, you bought a few products, you've invested a small amount of time into it, and it's not working. So it's easy to give it up. But that's why your why is so important then to be able to reconnect to. And we'll come back to it time and time again. You'll get sick of hearing about why, but it is, I now realise, you know, it really is integral. And that why is going to grow and change all the time as you know, mine has just evolved over the years to something bigger and better. And it allows me to have a much, much bigger, did I write on here earlier? I can't find it. I had a little note about the why. But yeah, really, you need to be believing in your future and what Arbonne can do to you. And you will then be prepared to, those obstacles that you'll face in your business just aren't going to feel quite as big. Right, next thing, just faith over fear. This is, again, just touching on, we've only got 10 minutes, so I'll just touch on this a little bit. It's very, very, when I'm talking about faith, I'm not being, not in a religious aspect at all. I'm just talking about faith in the process, faith in your ability to be able to actually do this business, faith in, you know, like the daily habits that you're doing, having faith in what you're doing, because like I said before, at times it's going to feel really, really tough. But if you're coming from a place of fear, it's going to be so much, much easier for you to quit. But faith and fear just cannot exist at the same time in the same space. So if you're running on fear and you're looking at your business from a really negative point of view, and you're hearing all those negative, you know, voices in your head, and you're getting negative responses, and you're living from a place of fear, then you just won't be successful. But if you're living from a place of faith, you will be vibrating on a completely different level. You will not allow those fearful thoughts to come into your mind when you are coming from a place of faith. Does that make sense? So have a bit more faith in your abilities to do something, because it's so, I hear it all the time, something goes wrong, oh, it's just me, I'm just not going to be able to do this. I do it all the time, because they're thinking from a fear point of view rather than a faith point of view. So really have faith in what you believe you can do. Any other points on that, my darling?
Oh. Sorry, couldn't get my mute off. No, I don't think so. I think you've put that very, very succinctly and perfectly. I shall leave it to you.
That's great. And then just to finish off, I want to go through just this list that I found today, which was brilliant. Again, it links really nicely into what we're talking about here. But it's the 7 habits of really successful people. And they've done just loads of interviews and established that these are the top 7 aspects that to people who are really successful, their habits that they're doing. Number 1 is that they read a lot. Well, we know that, that's our goal, is obviously to make sure that we're going to be reading. The second thing is that they are always accountable to themselves, or they have an accountability partner. If you haven't got an accountability partner, I highly recommend it. If nobody knows what that is having somebody that's not in your direct success line, so not your sponsor or one of your consultants, preferably a sideline. It can be within your business or externally. Mine's externally to the business. And it's just having somebody that you can have a weekly check-in, a weekly chat to, message and make and become accountable for what you want to do or things that you want to achieve for that week. And then if you don't do it, it's absolutely fine, but you'll obviously then have to tell them that you won't do it. And actually what that does often is just drives you to make sure that you don't have to have that conversation, that you haven't done something that you were committing to do. What, small, again, it's these small victories, which is actually number 3, is focus on the small victories within your business. Focus on each step of the ladder along the way and enjoy that process rather than looking to the very, very top of the ladder. Don't say when somebody just joins our business, right, we're going to get you to National Vice President in a month. We don't do that. We work on small steps to where we actually want to be. So make sure that they are aware of that. That's how the business will work. Number 4 is be grateful for where you are. So once you're at those small steps along the way, whether it's that you've got your first step, consultant bonus, second step consultant bonus, district manager bonus, you've just got into qual for district, or you've promoted, whatever it is, be really grateful for where you are. And step number 5 is don't compare yourself, because that is 100% going to be the worst thing that you can do in the business, is compare yourself to others, because you just have it's irrelevant what they're doing. But we all have done it. I've been scrolling on social media. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had what she's got. How is she so successful? Why am I not as successful as her? How is she, all of that stuff. It's completely irrelevant. All you need to focus on is being better than you were yesterday. That is your goal, to be better than yourself than you were the day before, to be making those small improvements on you daily. And if you are spending a lot of time, like comparing yourself to, certain people, then stop doing it. Unfollow them. It's not going to be healthy for you to do so. Focus on just you. Step number 6 is develop a deep hunger. So develop a deep hunger and commit to the end. So a deep hunger for whatever it is that you're doing. But it's so true. If you focus on something 100% and put everything into it, you will be successful at it. Obviously we don't know how long it's going to take, but you will be successful at it. So develop a deep hunger, and whether that is from simply how you dream, to what your daily focus is in your business. Make sure you have a deep hunger for what it is that you're doing. Remember, this is a generalized thing from business. They all seem to sit in very, very well with having an Arbonne business as well. And number 7 is create a massive action plan. Now, some people hate them, some people love them. I have to say, since I started writing my goals out on a monthly basis, I've been more successful than when I never wrote them before. Because if you don't write things down, then what have you got to go for? What have you got to achieve? Because really, if you don't write it down, it's not going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. You've got somewhere that you're going to be working towards. So on a monthly basis, make sure that you know at the beginning of the month what you want to achieve by the end of the month. Make sure you've got it written down. On my board now, I've got 5 new sign-ups, I want 5,000 in my central district, and we want 20,000 in our region. I've got it all written down so I can see exactly what's happening. And then I know where my energy needs to be focused into. So please do it. Even if you haven't got a team at the moment, when you're drawing your organisational chart, I'll just get mine so I can show you in case you haven't seen one of these before. Just put you in the centre, obviously then work out all the people who've sponsored you, who you've sponsored directly to you, and then off of them put all the people that they have sponsored. These are just our business builders, and then I do another one which is obviously for like customers, and when I'm working out my central business as well, so what I want from a central district. But just write it down, and if you haven't got anybody yet, it doesn't matter. Put the circles there, because you're creating space for them to come. You've then got an idea of who you're going to be focusing on, who you need as your business, who you need, and then where your efforts. Oh, I've got a little message come up there. Okay, I've got a couple of minutes left here. Yeah, and where your efforts then need to be. So create the space for them. It doesn't matter if you're a team of one at the moment. Get you in the middle. Put 4 little lines off at least, with 4 little bubbles in, and then some lines and some bubbles off there, and you can start thinking about what that's going to be. Who do you want in there? Start putting the names of people that you actually want to approach about the business, and then approach them. It will really help you to start visualizing your team growing and start to give you some confidence about reaching out to people. Michelle, any more bits that you want to add on there?
No, I don't think so. I think we've covered a lot there anyway. I've got a few things that I've kind of seen on online I thought would be quite useful. So I'll put some tags in the group. It's a really, I've been looking at one which is a really interesting one, all about commitment devices.
Oh, great.
Because for somebody like me who finds it difficult to be consistent, there's some really good things in there. So I'll put that up and you can have a look at that. There's some funny things in there as well, which are good. But yeah, no, it's all good stuff. I'm going to do that chart. Yeah. I will do that by Wednesday. That is my commitment. It's going to be done tomorrow.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's good. It really helps. It really does help you. And then obviously you can just start to have those conversations that people you have sponsored, let them know where you're at, what you're actually wanting to achieve from this month, and then see what they can achieve. The reality is most people just don't think that they can do it, and you just need to breathe life into your team, because everybody is more than capable of getting to the next level in the business. It is just a case of helping them see it, because we see it before they do, you know. So just concentrate on making sure they are fully aware of it, and breathe life into them, and it will breathe life into your business as well. Wonderful. Can I just say good luck, Hannah? We can't wait to see you. You're going on at 8:15, the next call, the next Zoom training. And she's going to be training us on, which she trained me on. I love this. The fact that one of our beautiful ICs taught me how to do the host rewards and has given me, I'm not kidding, thousands of pounds worth of products over the last couple of months, because I now know a very simple way of processing my orders. So I can't wait to see you share that with everybody. I'm sure you'll be amazing as you were with us.
Thanks.
And, yeah, good luck, darling.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for jumping on this evening, and I look forward to catching up in the week. Lots of love.
Yeah, great. Yeah, good luck, Hannah. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.